To the Omni Hypnosis Center. It's nice to see the friendly faces back here for the second half. This morning we held a seminar, and you've had the courage to come back this afternoon, which is exciting to me. Today, this afternoon, we're going to be talking about a technique of hypnosis called hypno-sleep. Hypno-sleep is not new. It's very, very old, but it's very unknown. It has really come to conversation over the last, maybe year and a half at the most. Hypno-sleep was first, a lot of people think that Dave Ellman was the discoverer of this hypno-sleep. Well, he wasn't. It goes way back to Bernheim, back in the around 1890. Although Bernheim never used the technique, he proposed the possibility of hypnosleep. Dave Ellman took the concept and turned it into a real thing. Now, Dave Ellman, maybe some people still don't know who he is, until probably 1985-ish, Dave Ellman was the best kept secret in hypnosis in this country. I thought everybody knew about his techniques when I was just teaching away down in South Florida. And when I started to teach his techniques around the country, it was really interesting. People liked what he did and picked up on his work because it was so fast, so quick, and the transformational methodology was so easy to learn. And Dave probably was the finest hypnotherapist that I could possibly conceive of in our past history. He was that good. He wasn't necessarily a discoverer of techniques, although he did discover and develop some very good techniques, including his great induction. But he read a lot of books. And a lot of the people that wrote the books discovered things that they didn't know they discovered them. But when Dave read them, he read it between the lines and was able to pick these jewels that other people tripped over. And he was able to then bring them into our world in the form that we're able to use. And I'll tell you something. I think if you took all of the great masters of hypnosis that have gone before us, and I mean go back as far as Liebold, Bernheim, Mesmer, Erickson, Ellman, I think if you all lined them up in a line right here in front of us right now, they'd all tell you the same thing. They'd all say, take what I know. Take it with my blessing. But if all you do is learn what I know, get out of the business, because you're not moving this profession forward. And that needs to be what happens. And so we all need to be in that mentality. And that's what this is all about. We need to reach out and try new things. 10% of your work with clients should be in trying something new with them. And as long as you don't say the O word, if it doesn't work, you can always go back and do it the other way. What's the O word? Oops. Sure, just don't say that, and you can go back if it doesn't work, and they don't know the difference. They don't know what you're doing or how you do it. And so you can move the profession forward and learn new skills. Hypno-sleep is a skill. If we look at depths of trance, especially back when Dave Ellman was on the planet, and the height of his time in the field of hypnosis was really between 1945 and his untimely demise around 1961. This was a tremendous time for him and his learning and the work that he did. And he analyzed depth of trance. And depth of trance to Dave was an interesting concept. You know, in many of our schools, especially those on the East Coast, they tell you that you have 3 levels of trance. You have your light, your medium, and your deep levels. It's still taught out there that 20% will go into a light state, 60% will go in a medium, and another 20% into a light state in the first visit. And this will change somewhat, but not much, over repeated sessions. And of course, in our class, we teach, yes, we have a light state, yes, we have a medium state, yes, we have the deep state, which is called somnambulism. Under that, we have the hypnotic coma. Under that, we have ultra depth. And hopefully tomorrow or something, other time, we're going to discover something more than that. We now also take this and we vary it a little bit differently, is we have all these light, medium, blah, 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 all the way down like we have here. But now if we take this as consciousness, we also are building up to higher self, super consciousness, and ultra height. So we're actually going in the other direction. As the physical body goes deeper, the mind can go into the elevated states, which brings a whole new batch of possibility to us. But back in what Dave Ellman thought, and he kept it simple, which was the beauty of his work. Dave said, yes, there was light hypnosis, and then he said there was medium hypnosis. And he said these states are absolutely good for nothing, other than people have to go through it to get down to where you're going to be. He said this next state is somnambulism. And then the last state he worked with was called, well, he had the Esdale state, which we know today is what? Coma state. Okay. And then the deepest state of all he called hypnosleep. These are the states that he worked with. And he said for a hypnotist to be worth their salt, he or she should be able to get any one of these states instantly by design. Instantly being defined not technically as instantly, but in 4 or 5 minutes, certainly if on the outside of the sphere here. Certainly somnambulism in 4 minutes. You might take another 4 minutes to get down into the hypnotic coma, and then hypnosleep is pretty easy after that. Well, you actually can have hypnosleep. You don't have to, right after you have somnambulism, you don't have to go through the coma state to have it. I don't think hypnosleep can be called, from my perception, as much a level of trance as maybe a sub-portion of the somnambulistic state, because that's where you start with to get it. So maybe we're not even dealing with an individual level, but rather a technique once you have a level. It's kind of hard to define this type of thing. Dave made this work. He read in Bernheim's book, which was called Suggestive Therapeutics, all about hypnosleep. Now, that book isn't in print anymore, and it comes in a lot of different names, or it was printed in a lot of different names. Here's one of my copies, and it's called Hypnosis and Suggestion in Psychotherapy by Bernheim. Hyperboyle Bernheim. Or Hippolyte Bernheim. Interesting name. These books can be found, by the way. If you are an old bookstore hunter, which I am, you'll be able to come up with this. They're out there, and it's a terrific book Bernheim wrote. Highly recommend that one. Anyway, Dave read that, and he said, this is an interesting state. It's an interesting state because if a person was able to go into this state, then you would be bypassing their analytical mind. And the suggestions would go in there without being analyzed. Now this is an interesting statement. The suggestions would go in without being analyzed. We'll talk more about that later because it does have a degree of importance into it that we need to become aware of. So what are some of the benefits? So first of all, what is hypnosleep? What are we talking about when we talk about hypnosleep? Hypnosleep entails training a person through a hypnotic suggestion to go from their normal state of awareness, not into hypnosis, but into a deep, natural state of sleep. Then, once they're in sleep, to go ahead and bring them enough out of the sleep state that you can transform that into the hypnosis state, still retaining most of the sleep state. So you actually have a person in a combination of sleep and hypnosis at the same time. This is a terrific state for working with people because there's certain benefits that go along with this. One, like I said, it sets aside the analytical mind of the individual. They're not jumping on everything you're saying. They're snoozing. You know how to do that, don't you?
Much snoozing?
Yeah.
Not hard to do.
Not hard to do. Okay. It eliminates one of the main problems that you can run up against in our work is people who know they have a problem. They don't know what the cause of it is. The cause of the problem is blocked from their conscious mind. And they have a tremendous fear of facing the particular cause, whether it's a rape or combat or whatever it may be. Well, if they're snoozing away, you can just slide right in there using this technique, and that pre-fear that they have isn't there anymore. So it's wonderful for that. It's just a great technique for that. It makes regression so easy because it's totally unexpected. The biggest problem people have in doing regression is that this is the worst thing you can do. Don't ever do this to a client. Somebody comes into your office with a problem, and you say, well, and you stroke your Freudian beard. Not you. What would girls do to equal a Freudian stroke like this? Chew on the end of their eraser. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, and they'll say, it seems to me your problem is deep and we have to regress you to discover the problem. Well, now you've just shot yourself in the foot because that's all they're going to be thinking about. They're not going to relax their conscious mind, and regression is going to be almost impossible. So you don't ever want to do that. But using this, they're just in a state of sleep that's been elevated into hypnosleep. Mostly hypnosis at that point with sleep added to it, and boom, you just say, find yourself here, and they're there. And it's just so easy to do. There is a caution we need to be aware of with this state. Remember, in our basic hypnosis class when we did the circles, and we have the conscious, and we have the subconscious mind, and we talked about all the different things the different parts of the minds do. And remember, we had out here a part of the conscious mind we called the critical factor. And I'm not going to do the whole shtick on this particular circle stuff again. You all know that or can see it on my tapes. And remember, a suggestion to come in there normally is blocked. It's not allowed to go in because it's a behavioral change and the subconscious is lazy, blah, blah, blah. We remember all that. And it's rejected. And we know that hypnosis is the bypass of the critical factor of the conscious mind. We set it aside. The bypass of it and the establishment of acceptable selective thinking. But also we know that in normal hypnosis, the conscious mind plays the guardian of the gates. You know, you hear every suggestion coming at you. You know that you're not going to accept the suggestion if you don't like it. That's the job that your conscious mind plays as the protector of the gates. We all remember this from our primary training, right? Now, here's the problem. Here's what you have to be aware of. Because hypnosleep can be kind of a loaded gun in unethical hands. And all of you are ethical, so we'll talk about it. When a person is in hypnosleep, they're asleep. Now, what happens to the conscious mind when you're asleep? Basically, it's kind of not there in deep sleep, is it? It's not doing the job the way it normally would. So when a person's in hypnosleep, theoretically it's possible to shoot a suggestion into the subconscious mind without the conscious mind having the ability to do its job as the protector of the gates. Now remember, we said that the conscious mind must make one of 4 decisions about every suggestion that goes in there. I'll review them for you. First one is when it hears a suggestion, I like it, I know it's going to work, that suggestion is allowed to go in. The second one is it's a little uncomfortable, it's nothing against your morals or religion, it's just a little uncomfortable. That's no good, that's rejected, it's out of there. The third one is you're neutral about the suggestion, you don't care if you get it, you don't care if you do. That's rejected, it's out of there. And the last one is where most people fail with hypnosis, who really want to have it, is when the conscious mind says, I like that suggestion, I hope it works. We all know hope is the killer word, and it causes the suggestion to be rejected. So there are the protections. In other words, that's why nobody's going to pull the wool over your eyes when you're in normal hypnosis. Your conscious mind is analyzing the suggestions for whether you want it or not. That's its job, and it's not to do that. So all of us need to be analytical to that degree. But in hypnosleep, you get the idea? So, we need to know more work. We need to learn more about this, to find out exactly to what extent suggestions can be placed into the mind in hypnosleep, and if there is a final protection. We just haven't been working with it long enough to get in there. But yeah, in other words, you need to be phrasing your suggestions correctly. So, in this state, you're not getting a suggestion to a person that actually is going to end up having the opposite result. You must be very careful about pharsing when you're dealing with this state of hypnosis. Now we know pharsing is the tendency of the subconscious mind as it goes deep into hypnosis to become more and more euphoric. And it gets to the point where it does not like nor will it accept a negative word in a suggestion. And so it'll drop the negative word and accept the suggestion as if it was said without that word. For example, you will not eat a lot of food. And it drops the word, it farses on the word not. What suggestion has that person just got? You will eat a lot of food. Not a good thing when they're coming to you for weight loss, you say. So not only in hypnosleep is that a danger, that's a danger in any deep level of trance. So you got to watch your semantics, your statements that you give to people, but especially in this particular level of trance. But on the other hand, If your suggestions are correct, can you imagine the power that these suggestions are going to have in this level of trance compared to normal hypnosis? I mean, it's going in there like an A-bomb. That's the beauty of the state. That's the absolute beauty of the state, is everything changes so fast for the individual compared to normal methods of doing hypnosis. So it's another tool, and it's not the end of it, it's just the beginning. We got to learn a lot more after we learn about this. You guys are going to discover it. So let me go ahead, let's go over hypnosleep step by step before we demonstrate it, so we'll see exactly what we need to get there. And you who are watching this tape will find this on the back cover of your tape box, the handout that we're giving now. Okay. Just follow along and we'll go through number 1 through 16 very easily here. The beginning, as always, if you're going to be a great therapist, always has to be at least somnambulism. We start with somnambulism. If we don't get it, we don't do the work. You don't waste the client's time nor your time. This is where you want to be to get the job done. After you get somnambulism and you feel sure about it, you're going to show the client they have somnambulism. We're going to do a number block test. A number block test is simply you have the person count from 1 to 10. Most people can do that. Everybody can do that. But then you have them count from 1 to 10 again. And you say, now this time, as you count from 1 to 10, there will be nothing between the numbers 5 and 7. If you try to find anything between the numbers 5 and 7, your throat will just lock down tightly shut. Anything that was between 5 and 7 is going, gone. And you tell them, okay, count from 1 to 10. And they'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's a good thing. Now you know they really have amnesia, which is the great test for somnambulism. So you got to make sure they're able to do that. Then you have them open their eyes, because that doesn't break the hypnotic state just because they open their eyes. And then you have them do it again. But what's really fun is you have them count your fingers. So you count my fingers and touch them as you do. And they'll be counting how many fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So they say, what the devil is this? You got 11 fingers. And they get kind of frustrated when they do this because it doesn't make any sense to them, you say. But again, that deepens trance as you're doing it. And you want to make sure you do this if you're going for hypnosleep, because only if they're able to go through a number block test or something similar to it. Some people like to have them forget their name or their wife's name or their boss's name, and then have or their address, and they'll have them open their eyes. Same thing, you can vary it. What town do you live in? Cleveland. What's your phone number? So and so. What's your address? Duh. And they don't have it, you see. So you got to get that. Now, once they have that, have them close their eyes. Just close your eyes. Then you simply say, from now on, anytime you see me touch my nose, you will fall into a deep, sound sleep. Just like a normal night's sleep, even deeper. Much deeper. Now you want to compound that suggestion. In other words, you just don't give it to them once. You repeat that suggestion about 5 times. Then, as you say in number 6, the sleep will be deeper than normal. And when I have you open your eyes, you will not remember this conversation. You're getting the giggles. You like this, huh? You're plotting to do this to somebody, aren't you? Then you have them open their eyes. And you talk to them for a second or two. That was fun, wasn't it? Yeah, I feel pretty good. That was nice. And then, what do?
Touch your nose.
You touch your nose. Now, if everything is working, now you don't have to touch your nose. You can say anything. You say, from now on, every time you see me, pull my earlobe. Doesn't matter. Or scratch my chin. Or wiggle my fingers. Whatever the trigger is, it doesn't matter. But then, in this case, you touch your nose, and if the person has been working with you correctly, they're going to drop into a beautiful, deep state of what we're calling hypnosleep. Hypnosleep because they're going to sleep based on a hypnotic suggestion to do so. They're not going technically into hypnosis. Although, they're already in hypnosis, aren't they? You just had them open their eyes. So, and then touch your nose. So you never broke the hypnotic trance. They're still in deep somnambulism. With a suggestion, bang, you touch your nose and you're going to drop into hypnosleep. Then, like we do in the children's technique, which I'll go over again with you later, you say to them, now you can hear me. Or, now you can hear me, but you won't wake up. You can hear me, but you won't wake up. When you hear me, just raise this finger, tap them on a finger, or raise your right hand, or whatever. You can hear me, but you won't wake up. When you hear me, just raise your right hand. Now, once they do that, and they will if you've done everything according to Hoyle, then you just say, I'm going to talk to you now, and you'll remain asleep. You'll be able to tell me things that never before you could when you were awake. And afterwards, we'll talk about these memories and see if they should be allowed to come forth to your conscious mind. That's the end of the technique. Then you can just go into your therapy. Now you've got a person in a tremendous non-resistant state. And now what do you want to do? Well, just what we do in any other session. Now, there's no different. How long have you had the problem? Remember, their subconscious mind not only knows the cause of the problem, but knows how to fix it. We discovered that, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago? Yeah, when we did our ultra-height tape. Okay. So in this case, let's say the person said, I've had this problem for 10 years. When I snap my fingers, you'll be back 10 years ago, right at the beginning of the problem, and I'll be talking to you, but you won't wake up. Boom, snap the fingers, there they are. It's just so quick. Then you can do your direct suggestion or necessary hypnotherapy. What do you want to do in that case? You find a traumatic event, a problem, and have a reaction. So you're going to find out who the players are, what the situation was. You'll get out of that scene. Then you may choose to do deathbed therapy or chair therapy. You're going to do your desensitization techniques, all the standard stuff that are going to transform that person. You may do a little go back as a child type of stuff, and all the things we need to do to make it corrected. Then you say, okay, now these are Dave's words. I don't use these words particularly, but this is a guide. He says, when I rouse you. Rouse is not part of my vocabulary. But okay, when I rouse you, we'll be able to discuss the problem. You'll know that the event at age 10 no longer can affect or disturb you in your present life. And the way you prove that is the same old way we'll do fears or phobias or anything else to make sure it's gone. We'll place them into the event, have them try to find the fear with the counterbalance suggestion. The harder you try to find it, the more calm, relaxed, and in control you are, and you keep slapping them into those particular situations until they're absolutely confident that nothing is bothering them anymore. And then you emerge the person and discuss it using waking hypnotic techniques what happened and how they're changed. That's it. It's not a difficult thing to do. The hardest part of it, the therapy is easy. The therapy is what you guys have been doing for how long now? You've been out, you do this, don't you? No? You do the therapy, you don't do hypnosis, right? Yeah. Okay. So, you can see how smooth this would make it because there's no resistance compared to the normal type of hypnosis where the conscious mind of the analytical individual is bumping in the way all the time saying, well, how do I, or what's going on, or why is this happening, blah, 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 blah. This just eases through it nice and easy, you see. Does it sound good?
Yes, it is.
Kind of a sneaky way to get something going. Now let's kind of look at this a little bit from a closer position. Al, were you the person here that was volunteering to come up? You ready for a nap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question.
What's your question?
So what you're doing is you're attaching hypnosis to sleep.
Historically, we have all been taught the same thing. And that is you cannot attach sleep to hypnosis. But you can attach hypnosis to sleep.
That's why I asked.
Yeah. Historically, that's always been the case. Well, this kind of upsets the apple cart somewhat in that area, you see. So let's take this step by step. Because I usually have so many shortcuts I put on this, I'll put my gouge here just to make sure I'm covering all the bases, because I skip around a lot myself. Want to do a little hypnosis? Mm-hmm. Are you a resistant fellow? See, you can call him, he says I'm easy. You can call a man easy, but you never call a woman easy. You can call a woman cooperative. There's a big difference. You understand that, don't you? All right. Now remember, however you want to get to somnambulism is your business, but you need to get there for this particular type of program to work. All right, ready to go to work? Take a nice deep breath, fill up your lungs, hold it, and lay down. That's good. Lay down, loose and limp and relax. Al, I want you to go ahead and let your mind drift back to how you felt when you were in the deepest level of hypnosis you've ever been in. And then automatically just let yourself be there again. And notice how good that feels. Now I want to make sure you have this nice level. Let me just make sure you got it. That's good. He looks like he's someplace, doesn't he? Okay. Let's make sure you have it. In a moment, I'll have you count backwards, starting with the number 100. After each number, double your mental relaxation. And by the time you reach the number 98 or sooner, you'll find that if they're not gone already, the numbers will be gone without any problem whatsoever. All right, slowly now begin counting out loud backwards. Double the relaxation between each number and push them right out of your mind. Now double that relaxation. Now double it again on the next number, banish them, push them out. Now dispel them, push them out. You can do it, I can't do it for you. All gone? Good. I want you to relax even more. Now remember when we talk about the somnambulistic state? Well, that's a level that, you have upper somnambulalism, medium somnambulalism, deep somnambulalism. So, and you know that as we breathe, our respiration will take us up and down. So let's just deepen them a little bit more. Now let's see if you'll let yourself go even more deeply relaxed. As I count from 10 down to 1, just let yourself relax much deeper. It's easy for you to do. It feels good. 10. That's good. 9. Lay down. 8 and 7. let go now. 6. That's it. 5. 4, letting go. Drifting down. Just giving into this beautiful feeling. 3. 2. 1. That's good. Mind relaxed and the body's relaxed. And the mind and body continue to relax much more with every gentle breath. Not because I say so, but it's the nature of your mind and body to enjoy the deeper feelings of relaxation that are available to you with every breath you exhale. All right, so just continue to let yourself relax much more with every breath. And I just want to go away from this a little bit. Now, well, let's do some convincers starting from for you guys from the top, and we'll work through the 2 more different ones. As I raise your head, let yourself relax even more. Place my finger on your forehead, and as I count from 5 down to 1, with each number I say, feel your eyelids locking down and sealing tightly shut. So tightly shut that at the count of 1, when you try to open them, you'll find they just lock much tighter for a few seconds. We want that to happen. Watch how quickly it'll be there for you. 5, feel your eyelids locking down, sealing tightly shut. 4, as if they're glued together. 3, as if they're welded down. Number 2, totally locked down. On the next number, give them a test to satisfy yourself and discover the harder you try to open them, the tighter they lock down. Number 1, give them a test now. Stop testing, go much deeper. That's good. You're doing well. So there's an eye lock test. An eye lock test is just a upper medium level of hypnosis. It's certainly not much of a convincer. It's okay. But for classroom purposes, let's just move on from that and show you another one that we can use. Al, I want you to take your right arm and reach up and point to the ceiling, if you would. Just imagine you're going to reach that ceiling. You can reach it if you just stretch it out a little bit more. You just know you're going to reach that ceiling. There's no question about that. I'm going to count from 3. As I do, with each number I say, I want you to feel your arm growing just as stiff and rigid as a steel bar. Your fingers extend even further and reach up for the ceiling. Just so high. By the time I reach 3, your whole arm will be so rigid, reaching for that ceiling higher and higher, that you'll find you're just unable to lower it for a few moments. And it's just going to be amazing. So let that happen. Here we go. 1, feel your arm locking at the shoulder joint now, just as rigid as a piece of steel. Now, 2, locking at the elbow, as rigid as a piece of steel. 3, locking at the wrist, stiff and rigid. Try to just reach that ceiling. When I count to 3, I want you to try to lower your arm, and you'll discover that for a few moments, the harder you try to lower it, the higher it tries to reach, the stiffer it gets. 1, 2, 3, try to lower it, it just gets stiffer and stiffer and stiffer. Now when I tap you on the forehead, it flops down to your side like an overcooked piece of spaghetti, and you drift much deeper. Here we go, flop right down, and you go much deeper into relaxation. That's good. So now that is a test for a lower medium level of hypnosis. Now I wasn't afraid to do that because we already did a test for somnambulism, which was relaxing the numbers out. But these are convincers for him, not for me at this point. Say, well, this is pretty cool. Something must be going on here, you say. So you don't have to be afraid to do these simple little type of tests if you know you already have the big test in the bag type of a deal. All right, Al, now what I want you to do is I want you to count out loud for me 1 up to 10. Would you do that, please? That's good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. Great. Mm-hmm. Very, very good. Now in a moment I'm going to ask you to do that again. But this time, when you count, you will discover something very interesting. And that is, as you count, you'll discover that there is nothing between the numbers 5 and 7. Anything between that was between the numbers 5 and 7 has just drifted away. Anything between the numbers 5 and 7 is just going, gone, completely gone. The harder you try to find something there, the throat will just lock tightly shut. There's just absolutely nothing between the numbers 5 and 7. When you count, it'll just be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, just as normal as rainwater. Absolutely nothing between the numbers 5 and 7. All right, you're doing very well. Now, do me a favor and once more count from 1 up to 10. Wonderful. Good. Excellent. Great. Very good. Very, very good. Highly intelligent man. Now, in a moment, I'm going to have you open your eyes, and even after your eyes open, there still will be nothing between the numbers 5 and 7. Even be further away than it is right now. All right? Slowly let your eyes open. All right. How you feeling? All right. Now, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to count my fingers, please. Touch them as you count. All right. 11. That means I'm some kind of an alien, doesn't it? Excuse me. Try that again. I got confused on that one. 5 here, right? Put that in. Okay, start over and count this hand. 5 and 5 is basic math. 10. I have 11 though, don't I? Okay. Now close your eyes and go very deep. Okay. Now listen carefully to me. Let your mind now drift for a second to the feelings you feel when you are in a beautiful, deep, natural state of sleep. Just notice how nice you feel in that state. And from this moment on, whenever I touch my nose with the intent to hypnotize you and to work with you, well, not from this moment on, only in this class today. In this class today, whenever I touch my nose, you'll instantly close your eyes and go down into a deep, natural sleep. And it will feel wonderful. In this class only, whenever I look at you with the intent to hypnotize you and touch my nose, you'll just drift into an instantly into a deep, natural, beautiful state of sleep. All right. And let your mind drift now to that feeling when you're asleep so you know what it is that you're going to do. All right. Now open your eyes. That's good. Now, look at me. So there we are up to number what? 5? Okay. Now this sleep will even be deeper than normal. I should have said this before I got it backwards. But that's okay. This sleep will be deeper than normal. Now here's the part where we all are relatively familiar with based on our earlier classes. Ella, you can hear me, but you will not wake up. You can hear me, but you will not wake up. You can hear me, but you will not wake up. When you hear me, just raise this finger. You can hear me, but you will not wake up. Okay, so you saw the finger go up. So now we have up to, where are we here? 8. 8, okay. Now normally we would say exactly what's on this paper at this particular point. That I'm going to talk to you and you'll remain deeply asleep. But you see, the thing, if I continue with that, what we're saying here, if you read it, is you'll tell me things you never could when you're awake, and afterward we'll decide if these memories should be allowed to come forth into the conscious mind. Well, we didn't ask him if he's got some problem he wants to work with, and it would be unethical to do that at this point. But we can do something else that would be ethical and still kind of prove our point, you see. Now I'm going to talk to you, and as I do, you're going to find you can recall things that you just haven't thought of in years, that have just been gone from your conscious memory, and they're going to be pleasant thoughts, happy thoughts. I want you to now just let yourself drift back to a very, very happy time when you were just a little boy. Probably the most fun you ever had when you were just a little boy. And as I push on your shoulder 3 times, the 3rd time you'll be back at that very special time, and you'll be able to tell me where you are and what you're doing. Here we go, going back, and going back, and going back. Well, how old are you now, Al? You're 5 years old. Isn't that wonderful? What are you doing? You're playing under the street light? Is it nighttime? Uh-huh. It's nighttime and you're under the street light. It's nighttime and you're under the street light. What are you doing?
Playing with marbles.
You're playing with your marbles? Are you alone?
Mm-mm.
Who's with you?
Some boys.
The boys? Yeah? What's so much fun right now?
It just feels good to be out and playing.
Feels good to be out and playing. Don't you get out much?
Yeah, but it make me come in early.
Oh, Mom makes you come in? So you get to stay out a little later tonight, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's wonderful. That's pretty exciting stuff. Well, that's the most wonderful time of his past. Eesh. Oh, well. Actually, I can understand that because I can remember when I was a little boy, I have a memory that constantly comes back to me of just laying on the ground in my neighbor's house. He had a little hill and looking up the stars and wondering what it all was about.
Can we get Hugh Hefner up here? Don't forget that.
Now, so you see, it's a beautiful way to do a regression. There's just nothing to it. If he was a client, you would just go ahead and follow the paperwork here. And you go into the therapy. How long have you had the problem, blah, 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 and you go through the whole routine. And you do the therapy. And there's absolutely no resistance whatsoever to the suggestion process. Because his conscious mind is asleep. That's the correct term. He's asleep. And when the conscious mind is asleep, we don't have anything analyzing or blocking the suggestion that goes in there. So I'm going to give him some suggestions that I think will be acceptable to him. And you have to be careful. You want to make sure that they're always really proper suggestions for something. Al, I want you to understand that you're going to discover some things about you that are really great. Every day from now on, you're going to notice that your confidence, your self-confidence, just grows so much stronger. Your absolute knowledge that you have tremendous ability to help other people become the best they can be becomes strong and powerful within you. Every day you look for the good things in life. You look for the things that make you feel good. You look for the people that make you feel wonderful. And you surround yourself with those people that are positive and exciting and buoy you and make you feel good as you buoy them and make them feel good too. Every day you grow mentally, physically, and spiritually stronger and more powerful than the day before. You are a healer, and you discover that those abilities become better and better every single day. And always remember the things you wish come upon you, so you only think of good things for yourself and for those in your immediate area. And that's what will happen. You're going to enjoy every day of your life. You're going to wake up in the morning looking positively at the day as an exciting challenge. And it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful time for you. Your confidence in who you are and what you can do grows by leaps and bounds. And every day is better than the day before. So as long as you stick like that, you're okay. You see, you've got to keep it very kind of simple on your suggestions when a person's in this state. Now, just let yourself relax very deeply. Very deeply. Very deeply. You raise your head, you even go more and more deeply relaxed. That's good. That's good. When his head was down there, this great fibrillation going, I wanted to see if it was going to be there. Winding away on that type of reaction, you see. And that was a good subject. He's having a nice nap. Okay. So there is the technique. You see how simple. The hardest part is in the beginning, is to get that number block going or any other really hard test. Not hard test, but definitive test for making sure we have a deep level of somnambulism. Now, let's go ahead and do this. Let's, now listen to me. In a moment, I'm going to wake you up. Now, this is and you won't listen to me until I again touch you on the shoulder, which is a great way to talk privately to you guys without him listening, because in this state, that's all you have to do is tap on the shoulders, and you won't listen to me until I tap on the shoulder again. Let's do a double test on this thing to make sure that he has what we wanted to do. Let's immerse him with suggestions of amnesia and see. We'll give him a suggestion that he will not remember anything that happened until I snap my finger. And then everything that we've done will come into his memory. That'll be a real good test to see how well we've done in this state. All right, Al, I'm talking back to you now. Now, in a moment, I'm going to wake you up. Now, you know we normally never say wake up, don't we? Because that is not what we are in when we only wake up from sleep. You don't wake up from hypnosis. And an amateur hypnotist, you'll really know it. They'll say, now wake up, that's ridiculous. But in this case, it's true, because we're dealing with somebody that's asleep. Even though it is a hypnotically attached sleep, we can go ahead and do it. Al, in a moment, I'm going to have you wake up. And when you do, you will have absolutely no memory of anything or any suggestion we've given you in this state until I snap my finger like that. When I snap my finger, every memory will be back there for you. But until I do, you'll have no memory. You'll just remember going into sleep, and you'll have no memory of anything until I snap my finger again. All right? So now at the count of 3, I want you to wake up. Just come on back up. 1, 2, 3. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Hello there. You have a nice nap?
Yeah.
Feel good? Not long enough though, was it?
Oh, that's great.
Tell me about what happened. Huh? I don't know. Remember going to sleep? That was nice, wasn't it? What's the next thing you remember? Waking up, right? this in your lap here. So you remember going to sleep and then you remember waking up. Not much in between, right? Okay. Now what do you remember what we did?
Yeah.
He's got great expression. we labeled him Mr. Excitement, you know. Yeah, you remember all the suggestions I gave you?
Yeah, they were great.
They were good suggestions, weren't they?
They were great.
But to show you, remember what we said in our hypnosis class, when somebody emerges, whether it's from this state or any other state, they're really not emerged for a while, are they? I think 90 seconds, they're still in hyper-suggestible type of thing. So go back to sleep. See how you can do that. And now they're right back. Now when I tap you on the forehead, your eyes will open, and again you'll have no memory of what we did before. Open your eyes. There we go. Well, you keep nodding out on me. You like that sleep, don't you?
Yep.
So tell me, what were we doing when you were in that deep state of sleep?
I don't know.
I don't know. See the beauty of this type of a level of trance in one way? And you see how possibly it can be misused in another way. Now you remember everything, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You had to think about that one for a while. You like that level? Or you like
Yes.
sleeping? I mean, everybody likes sleeping, don't you?
I like that level.
I like it's not really a level, it's more a state of hypno-sleep. Now, you like hypnosis, can you tell the difference
Oh, yeah.
between the two, hypnosis and hypno-sleep?
Oh yeah, big difference.
How would you define the differences?
Hypnosis seems like I'm in a light trance where I'm more aware of everything that's going on. When I'm in sleep, it's just relaxation, complete relaxation.
Just like you're sleeping.
Yeah, I like a sleeping.
Which one do you like better?
I like the sleeping.
And let me tell you why. When a person is in, I'm going to just hook this on you for a second. Is that okay? It'll
Yeah.
just free up my hand here. That's good. Yeah. You see, when a person is in hypnosis and you're doing the therapy with them, they have a responsibility at that point to either follow your suggestions or not. And when you're leading into something that might be difficult for them, it can cause apprehension. It can cause a slowdown in response, a fear to face the tiger. But in hypnosleep, there is no responsibility, is there?
Right.
You just say, okay, I don't care. And boom, off they go wherever you direct them to be.
Now, when he comes out of hypnosis, when you emerge from that, can you compound it then during that
Sure.
post-suggestion to him? And so he's in sleep different from hypnosis, I just wanted to.
Oh yeah, it's still a hyper state of suggestibility. He says, when you emerge them from hypnosleep or wake them up from hypnosleep, can you use that period for compounding suggestion? Absolutely, because they're still in a hyper state of suggestibility. And remember what part of the hypnosis session that's called. That's called the post-hypnotic interview. And the post-hypnotic interview is the most overlooked yet one of the most wonderful times of a hypnosis session for the hypnotist to go ahead and reinforce all the suggestions that person has and the success that they've had. Sure, absolutely. Although, there is a difference. And I want you to think about this. Coming out of hypnosis, you just kind of, I'm out of hypnosis, right? Coming out of deep sleep, you really want somebody hammering at you right then, or would you rather have your coffee and cigarette? You know? so that's the difference, you see. Now,
More groggy still.
So
Like.
ain't nobody talking to me when I wake up.
that's right. Like you said, I'm more groggy, and it's that wake-up type of grogginess. Now, the other beautiful thing about hypnosleep, once a person has it, it's so easy for them to go back into it. Now, let me show you exactly what I mean with Al. And I'm gonna, can I play with you a little bit more?
Sure.
Thank you. You're a good fella. First, I want to do a little just a regular hypnosis with him. Then I'm going to put him in hypno-sleep, and then we'll ask him what the difference is, and notice how rapidly it happens, though. Watch my finger. As my finger comes down, follow it. When your eyes close down, you drop into a deep level of beautiful hypnosis. Here we go. That's a cut-a-bing, cut-a-boom, cut-a-bang induction, you see. But he's conditioned, so you don't waste time with conditioned people. It's just... Now, Al, just let your mind drift back to your nice, deepest level of hypnosis and let yourself be there. That's good. Now I'm going to emerge you. When I do, hold on to this memory of what this feels like. So we'll compare it to hypno-sleep. All right? Count of 3, eyes open, fully alert. 1, 2, 3. Now you got that down pretty pat, don't you? Mm-hmm. Now let's try some hypno-sleep. This is a little bit more interesting. Now right back into hypnosis. Here we go. Now, I want you to let yourself drift back to the last time that we worked together, when you relaxed the numbers out, and when there was no numbers, when you tried to count from 1 to 10. There just weren't any numbers there. And now there are no numbers there. Now in a moment I'm going to have you open your eyes, and whenever I look at you with the intent to hypnotize you, I'll just touch my nose, and you're just going to go into a beautiful, deep state of natural sleep. You're just going to go to sleep. You know how good that feels. All right, open your eyes. God, I wish I could learn to do this to my wife.
I can do that every night. I almost get my head in my pillow.
There you go. You can hear me, but you won't wake up. You can hear me, but you will not wake up. When you hear me, just raise this finger. You can hear me, but you won't wake up. Okay. Now I want you to hold on to the memory of how you feel right now, so we can compare it as to how you felt when you're in your normal state of hypnosis. Just analyze it for a second. All right, now in a moment I'm going to wake you up. And when I do, you'll be bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, raring to go, and feeling great. Okay? 1, 2, 3, wake up. Feel good. Now, tell me about the 2 different sensations that you had that time.
Hypnosis is still like being more aware, like you're here in the room, you're sensing everything, you're hearing everything. Sleep is more like I just hear you, like I don't care about anything else. I just hear you and I'm really relaxed, totally relaxed.
Feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, feels real good.
All right. You know, me doing this is nice, and it's nice for people to watch, but it's so easy to do. Which one of you guys would like to be a hypnotist and put him into hypno-sleep? You can go right down the gouge here to show you can do it just as easy. We must have a professional. Should I pick somebody? You want her? I think he's got a crush on you. Here's the deal. You can use my gouge, and I'm going to wire you so we get every little juicy tidbit of your voice. Do you mind if I touch you here? Too late, I already did. Okay. He's come to you because he has a terrible case of the South African fungus between his toes. No doctor's been able to cure it, but he knows you're the healer of... Where?
Merritt Island.
Merritt Island. And you know, she specializes in toe fungus, so she's going to fix you right up. Watch how easy this is for you to do. Go ahead. Put him right back into hypno-sleep. Just go right down the list. I wouldn't waste a lot of time with him getting to the first step.
Feel your lungs are there. Take a nice deep breath. Sleep. Good. Relax. With every breath you take, you go deeper and deeper. Just let yourself relax. Remember how relaxed you were before? You enjoy that feeling. You go deeper and deeper. It feels good just to relax. With every breath you exhale, relax that much more. Good. More relaxed. Deeper relaxed. Good. That feels so good. Okay. Now what we're going to do in a second is I'm going to have you count from 1 to 10. You can do that, can't you? That's pretty easy. Okay. We're going to count from 1 to 10. I want you just to count from 1 to 10 for me. Go ahead and count now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah? Mm-hmm. That's great. All right. I'm going to have you count again in just a second. But this time when you count for me, you're going to find that there are no numbers between the number 5 and 7. You'll find that there's just nothing there. There's nothing between 5 and 7. So when you count, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? That's pretty easy. You can do that, can't you? All right. Go ahead and count for me, 1 to 10. Mm-hmm. Yeah? Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. 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 Super. That's great. Now I'm going to have you open your eyes, and you're going to find that even with your eyes open, that you won't remember any numbers between the numbers 5 and 7. Okay? Go ahead and open your eyes. Count from 1 to 10 for me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Count my fingers for me if you would. Just go ahead and touch each finger as you count.
1,
Mm-hmm.
2,
Yeah?
3,
Mm-hmm.
4,
Mm-hmm.
5,
Mm-hmm.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
So I have 11 fingers.
Another Martian alien.
Wow. That's amazing. Okay. Super. Go ahead and close your eyes. That's it. Go deeper, relaxed. Okay. Now you'll find that anytime you see me touch my nose, you'll fall into a deep, sound sleep.
Say, change that. Say, anytime in this class only.
Anytime in this class while we're together, when I touch my nose, you'll fall into a deep sleep. Just as deep as a normal night's sleep, and it'll be much deeper. So you go into a nice deep sleep in this class when you see me touch my nose. It'll be much deeper than normal, and when I have you open your eyes, you won't remember this conversation. Okay? Open your eyes. How you feel? Yeah? Okay, that's good. Great. Much deeper. Wow. Oh, good. Okay. Now you'll find that you can hear me, but you won't wake up. Nice deep sleep, you can hear me, but you won't wake up. That's a nice deep sleep, but you won't wake up. But you will be able to hear me. And when you hear me, all you do is raise this finger, but don't wake up. Can you hear me now? Good. There's that finger. That's very good. Okay. And now I'm going to talk to you, and you'll remain asleep, and you'll be able to feel so good when you awaken. You'll feel so refreshed and so wide awake and so alert, and you'll be able to remember so much from this class, and it'll be so easy for you just to remember everything and to feel good and to feel alert and wide awake.
Wake up.
Okay. Okay, wake up. Doesn't want to leave that state.
Isn't she terrific? Are you practicing as a hypnotist?
Occasionally, yeah.
Well, you ought to be doing it more, girl. You're very good.
That's what I wanted to. Thank you.
Where'd you get your training?
Oh, from the best.
Oh, jeez. Okay. That was great. You see how easy? Now you got more confidence in it, don't you?
It's true, yeah. It is easy.
Anybody else want to play with Al? I'm sure he wouldn't mind. This is
easy.
Let me get somebody else up here. Who can I pick? Because it's important to build your confidence that you do this. And when you have somebody like this, it's easy to do this with, you say. So, come on, Ann. You can do this. I've got confidence in you. Anybody who voted for John Travolta to land his plane is my buddy. Let me hook you. See, the reason I pick girls is I get to pin this on.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yippee-I-O-ki-yay.
Now you be real easy, Al.
I'll be gentle. Ah, jeez.
Where do you want this to go? You want me
Well,
to
any place up in the
Here.
area of your...
try here?
There we go.
Yeah, you got? All
Close
right.
enough. Set that in your lap.
Okay.
Now watch how easy Ann does this. Here's another lady who's going to be fantastic.
And we know
Like I say, I
Al.
wouldn't waste too much time on the first
We know
one.
Al is fantastic. Okay. Just concentrate on my finger, Al, and as your finger comes close to you and your eyes shut, close down. And just relax. Now I want you to count for me. I want you to count from 1 to 10. Begin now.
2, 3,
That's good.
4,
Good.
5,
Good.
6, 7,
That's fine.
8, 9, 10.
That's fine. Now, in a minute, I'm going to have you open your eyes. And when you open your eyes, I'm going to have you count for me again. And when you count, you'll count like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're going to find that everything between 5 and 7 is just receded. It's gone. It just won't be there anymore. Now open your eyes and count from 1 to 10 for me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8,
That's good.
9,
That's great.
Do the fingers.
Now I'd like you to count my fingers for me. As you count, touch each finger.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Sleep.
I like that.
No, I missed
See, you didn't
someone.
compound
Yeah.
the suggestion
I-
enough. Tell them
right.
again.
Now,
Yes.
I'm going to have you count from 1 to 10 for me. And when you count from 1 to 10, you're going to count like this.
First start saying, when you count from 1 to 10, there'll be nothing between the numbers 5 and 7. Nothing between the numbers 5 and 7. Nothing between the numbers 5 and 7. You can add a little bit, say, if you ever try to find it, you'll find your throat will lock down shut, but there'll be nothing between the numbers 5 and 7. You didn't compound it enough.
When you count between 1 and 10, you're going to find that there's nothing between the numbers of 5 and 7. Nothing.
Should you try to?
Should you try to find any number between 5 and 7, your throat will clamp down and there will be nothing there. So I'm going to have you wake up. I'm going to have you open your eyes, and when you do, you're going to count from 1 to 10. You're going to count like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. There won't be anything between the numbers of 5 and 7. So you can open your eyes now. Okay. And count from 1 to 10 for me.
1,
Good.
2,
Fine.
3, 4, 5,
Great.
7,
Good.
8, 9, 10.
Now do the
Good.
fingers, that's the important.
Now I would like you to count my fingers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Very good. That's very good. I'm an 11-fingered person. Sleep. Now, anytime you see, in this class that you see me touch my nose, you will fall into a sound, deep sleep, just as deep as a normal night's sleep, maybe even a little deeper. This sleep will be deeper than normal, and when you open your eyes, you won't remember this conversation. Open your eyes. How are you doing? Look at me. Cleveland. That worked. Warm head, cold hands. You can hear me, but you can't wake up. You won't wake up. Well, I'm reading the script, okay? Yeah, you can hear me, but you won't wake up. You're in a deep, deep sleep, as deep as a sleep as you would normally have. Just relax. Just relax. You can hear me, but you can't wake up. You cannot wake up, but you can hear me. If you can hear me, when you hear me, raise this finger for me. Very good. I touch both fingers, you raise both fingers.
Following instructions.
I'm going to talk to you now, and you'll remain asleep, and you'll be able to tell me... No, we don't want to do that. I'm going to talk to you now, Al, and you'll remain asleep. Feed me. I can't think of anything.
You'll be able to remember things.
And you'll be able to remember
You haven't
things
thought of
that you
in years.
haven't thought of in years. And when you wake up from this deep sleep, you'll be more confident than you've ever been before in your life.
Now go ahead and do this as long as you got him there. He told me he'd be able to remember things that he hadn't remembered in a long time.
Right?
Take him back to now you might lift your hand or drop it or tap you on the shoulder 3 times. You're going to find yourself in another really happy time in your youth that you haven't thought about for years.
Okay.
Let's see where he is. Hey,
All right.
what's going on?
Now we're going to go back to a time in your youth when you were extremely happy, another time than we had before. A time,
And then tell him what you're going to do to get him there.
a time when you were so happy and having so much fun. And when I touch your shoulder with 3 taps, you'll be back there. I'm going to do it now. 1, 2, 3. And you're back in your youth at a very happy, happy time. How old are you now? 3 years old? And where are you right now? In a wash tub?
Tell him to speak louder. You got a hearing problem.
Speak a little louder because I can't always hear you. And now you're in a wash tub. And are you in the wash tub all alone? You are. And who's standing by the tub? Nobody. 3 years old in that wash tub. Where is the tub? It's out in the yard? And are there family members around?
Yeah.
Oh, great. And you're in that tub. Is there anything in the tub with you? Any toys or anything?
Just water.
Just water in the tub.
That's good.
And you're feeling good and enjoying that, aren't you? Yeah. It's a 3-year-old boy in a tub having a good time.
What do you mean by that?
He's so happy looking here. He's even laughing. He's having a great time. What do I do with him now? He's having such a great time.
He's yours.
He's mine. This is having such a great time. He really is.
I know. It's fun.
Oh, it's very, yes, it's a lot of
All
fun.
right, just say now I'm going to the shoulder 3 times a day. You're going to be in the classroom and be asleep.
All right, now I'm going to tap you on the shoulder twice, Al, and when I do, you'll be back in the classroom and you'll be deep asleep. 1, 2.
All right, now,
Smile's gone.
now just go back into here.
Okay.
Now you can emerge here,
Mm-hmm.
because we're not doing the therapy here, okay?
Okay.
Emerge him, but tell him that he will be able to remember this beautiful, happy time. So why not give him that as a present after he wakes up? You're going to wake him up, and then you're going to remember all the beautiful fun you had, the great time you had, and you'll be able to savor that for the rest of your life.
That's great. Okay, Al. In a moment, I'm going to have you emerge. And when I do, you're going to take this wonderful memory of this bathtub, not bathtub, but the tub out in the yard, and how wonderful you felt in that tub. And when you emerge, you're going to remember that memory just as if it was right at this moment, and you'll be so happy to have that memory for the rest of your life. So in a minute, I'm going to count to 3. And when I do, you're going to open your eyes, feeling fine, fully awake. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3. How do you feel? Good. Thank you.
You did good.
Thank you.
And bumbled for just
Stumbled
a few
and
seconds
bumbled.
there, but you did fine.
Oh, he's great.
You remember that memory, Al?
Take him with us.
Splashing water.
That was a good. Did you have any clothes on in the tub? Hey? Now the plot thickens.
No wonder she was blushing.
Aha! Our little nudist. All right. Let me put this over here. So you see how easy, how so easy regression is when you're dealing with hypnosleep. It takes so much work out of that analytical mind that's normally there in normal hypnotic regression doesn't exist. But it is so incumbent on you as the hypnotist, if you're going to use this technique, to give suggestions that cannot be misinterpreted by the subconscious mind. Because if a suggestion is misinterpreted, well, the subconscious mind is inherently a negative part of us. Because we're always used to taking, for most people, let me say that. Most people accept negative suggestions much easier than positive suggestions. Most people expect the worst rather than the best. Most people see the glass as half empty, don't they, instead of half full. So if you give a suggestion that can be interpreted either way, the subconscious will automatically take it as the negative. So you want to be very, very careful in giving suggestions to a person in hypnosleep, that they're always positive and building of that individual. You need to take that responsibility on, because it's an onerous responsibility. Is that a word? I think it is. I remember hearing that someplace. It's a big word, isn't it? Okay. You feel okay now? You up and at it again? Thank you for being our victim. Now, you know the interesting thing here, I don't want anybody abusing Al. We have 2 ladies in here plus me. All they have to do is touch their nose and you're out of here. You know that during the class. I don't think I look at them too much. And you 2 behave yourselves.
Especially if their nose itches.
You have removed your suggestion that works right now.
It should work right now. I didn't remove it, did I? No, it should work. I mean, it should work for all of them. Nobody will, but he said just during this class. Oh, you want to try it? Is that the deal?
I wanted to see if they still.
He wants to see Mr. Trouble here. This is Georgia Analytical Pilot.
I think Jerry's nose is very itchy.
Do what?
His nose is very itchy.
No, I think hers is.
Hey, Al.
Al's still here.
Accept that suggestion.
He knows better.
Sit up straight, Al.
Fear.
So he rejected it.
They removed it.
Okay. Took it away.
I don't know.
Why?
He didn't want to. He didn't like it. But that's no problem. Actually, it's no problem. Looks like fun, doesn't it? Now, where were we? Would you turn around and wait for me or something? I hate when people go to sleep on me in my classes. They gotta wake up. Get them out of there. I love the smile this guy has on his face. Now, in our regular class, we taught to some classes, and not all of them, a variation of hypnosleep in which many years ago, my friend Steve Parkhill and I decided we were going to train parents in taking responsibility for children and bringing them up correctly and programming them correctly. So we started a program called Parent Aid, and we rented this big hotel room because children are so easy to program. And we spent a lot of money in advertising, and now you can learn how to program your children and blah, 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 this and that. Got a tremendous response, but only 4 people showed up. To show you how interested parents are in gaining control of their newly received children, you see. But one of the techniques that we wanted to teach parents, boy, that was a good program we had too, it didn't work, was how to hypnotize your child when they were asleep. Now, I know I taught this in some of my classes and others I didn't, so I'll review it because it is part of hypnosleep. And it's also what falls into what we call a DRT technique, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. The dirty, rotten trick technique. But when you're raising children, you need to have the ammunition to defend yourself against their onslaught, because they will get you. Mm-hmm. Now this works great. From the time the children are able to understand the English language to a decent degree, on up until you get caught doing it. And for me, my daughter caught me when she was 12 years old. My son, I still do it today if my daughter didn't blow the whistle on me. I mean, she ratted out on Santa Claus to this kid. He'd still believe it. He likes to make the toys. But anyway, here's what you do. You put the child to bed, and now you wait. You wait until they're really asleep. Even if you have to set your alarm clock for 3 o'clock in the morning, you want to make sure these kids are in a major sleep dump. That's the same as getting Al to sleep using the hypnosis technique. Only this is easier, you don't have to use hypnosis. Then you crawl into the child's room on your hands and knees like a dog in the night. Because all of us humans have this radar. And you can sense when somebody's coming into your room, even when you're asleep. But when you're crawling below the level of the sleeping child, it's like flying under their radar screen. And they don't sense you down there. It's like the planes at war, fly under the radar. You sneak up next to the little rugger's bed. And then you just start. Right from here. Where is it? I'm on the wrong page. No, I don't need it. You just say to the child quietly, Billy or Judy or whatever the child's name is, you say, this is mommy or daddy. You can hear me, but you won't wake up. Now, don't say this is mommy or daddy. Pick one. You're going to be able to figure this out. Pick one. This is mommy, you can hear me, but you won't wake up. Don't shout it out. It's a nice whisper. This is mommy, you can hear me, but you won't wake up. You say that 5 or 6 times. And say, when you hear me, just raise your hand. Don't say your left hand to your right hand. The little ruggers don't know the left from the right. You'll see a hand go up, or you'll see the covers move, or something like that. Now they're in hypnosleep. You've attached hypnotic suggestion to the sleep state. Now this is good for, I wouldn't push it more than a minute. You've got about 60 seconds to give them children suggestions. Give one suggestion and compound it. You love school. It's a great place to show off how smart you are. Whatever. Drugs are dumb. You hate drugs. Nobody can touch you without your permission. All these type of things. But only one suggestion each time you crawl in there. Until the child is so psychically used to you coming in there, then you can give maybe 2 suggestions. And compound them until your minute is up. Say them over and over again. Then you simply say, now go back to sleep. Go back to sleep. And you won't remember I was here in the morning. Go back to sleep. And you won't remember I was here in the morning. I love you. Night, night. Then you crawl out under the radar screen once more, like a dog in the night. And I mean, don't get up when you hit the door jamb. Get around the corner before you stand up. And they'll sense what's in that door jamb. And you can program your kids. I did this to my kids. They turned out tremendously. Never had a problem with drugs. Never had a problem with compulsive sexuality. Never had discipline problems. They were great students, and now they're great, successful people out there. I'm very proud of them. But I'm proud of me and Shirley for all those nights on our knees. We slid into their bedroom and stuck it to them, you see. And that's a great technique if you know any mothers with kids, to teach them, or if you got some of your own, try it. It works fantastic.